Good afternoon, fellow doctorate, and I am so excited to dish out my report assigned to me. Well, I am obviously wearing my Oscar Award outfit, and I hope you are also doing the same. Let's make this fun and exciting. Well, for this afternoon, I will dish out a very exciting topic, and I am pretty sure that every one of us could relate. Anyhow, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Miss Mary Jane Flores Pernites. You can call me Teacher MJ. So let's get started. Before I start up with my report, let me just give you first my words of wisdom, and that is brought to you by Confucius. He says, and I quote, choose a job that you like, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Yes, that is perfect. This statement or this words of wisdom from Confucius is absolutely amazing because this will also help us realize our mission in our passion, and that it is somehow we're not working at all, right? So I think this is a very good words of wisdom. But just in case that currently you are working in a job that you really don't like, it's just that you don't have a choice. Well, my advice to you is that we stick to the word discipline. Because if we're not motivated, then discipline will absolutely work out in order for you to keep moving in your job. Let's just be grateful that you have a job, right? Anyway, let us now proceed to the next part of my topic, and that is the learning objectives. Of course, we have to know what are our targets for this session. And the first one is at the end of the session, we will be able to list down the factors affecting the employee job satisfaction. Then, second is we will always cover theories relating to job satisfaction, and as well as practice the tips learned from this session on how to achieve employee job satisfaction. Now let's jump to job satisfaction. This is an activity time, and I would like everybody to stay close, look on the camera, I mean, on the screen rather, and it shows there the word I love my job. That's so sweet, right? Do you love your job? I hope so, because me, I do love my job. Now, let us have this job satisfaction self assessment activity. All you gotta do is to list down anything to do with your job that actually keeps you moving and that gives you satisfaction. And on the right side, you will also be listing down anything to do with your job that makes you dissatisfied or feeling dissatisfied. So I will be giving you that time to do it. As I am continuing with my report, you can list down and take time to reflect and what are the things that makes you happy and what are the things that makes you disappointed or somehow dissatisfied. Okay? So let us continue. For this session, we will be talking about employee job satisfaction. And let us uncover the meaning of job satisfaction. Well, it says here that job satisfaction is the feeling of pleasure and achievement which an employee experiences at their job when the work is worth doing or the degree to which their works gives them satisfaction. So, from the word itself, satisfaction. So, satisfied. Are you happy? Are you good to go with your job? So, that is job satisfaction. Now, these are the related concepts of job satisfaction. We have job involvement, psychological empowerment, and organizational commitment. So, when you say job involvement, this actually refers to a person identifies with a job actively participates in it. So this is more into performance, participating, being involved in the job itself. It's not that you actually just there for the salary, but you are involved because you consider that as one of your self worth achievement. Okay, so that is job involvement. And then the next one is psychological empowerment. This is actually when the employees believe in the degree to which they affect their work environment. So, for example, their competence, the meaningfulness of their job, and their perceived autonomy in their work. And lastly is the organizational commitment. This is actually a degree to which an employee identifies with a particular organization and its goals and wishes to maintain membership in the organization. Meaning to say, you are fully committed. The loyalty is there, and that even if there are like higher pay that might actually offer you, you still commit to your current job. So that is organizational commitment. Now let's jump to the next one. These are actually the main causes of job dissatisfaction. So this is according to research that 32% is actually on the job stress. So these are actually factors that I will uncover as we go along with our discussion. And look at that. This is actually just very little, 3% actually says that their coworkers actually made their job dissatisfied. And there are also other factors such as pay, promotion, work, security, and even their bosses, their supervisor. Okay, so now let's dig deeper to what causes job satisfaction. So note, it is not all about the money, as the song that goes. It's not about the money, 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 right? So it's not really about the money. That always the main cause of job satisfaction, because sometimes we tend to say, yeah, it's a higher pay job, and that is why maybe this person is staying. Well, not at all. We cannot really say that, right? Because there are actually lots of factors that might actually have caused job satisfaction. And these are, well, first is culture. This is something to do with social culture. So, what kind of environment is your job offering? Like, for example, is it a culture of camaraderie? Right? So that is actually a culture being built to that organization, and that might actually cause someone to stay there longer as needed. And next is interesting work, right? There might be a task that somehow interests this individual, and that is really aligned or pattern with his or her abilities or hobbies. So it's like this individual is like busy, easy doing the job because this, makes him or her interest or really works. So next is rewards. Yes, rewards is not really always form of money. It can also be like word affirmation that is somehow a reward for an individual to be noticed and for them to be appreciated, right? And next is maybe this job is offering low stress, right? It is not really too demanding that an individual has to do overtime or something like that. So, the second here, the interesting work. Let's dig deeper to that. So, what makes a work interesting? Well, it can be that this organization is offering training. So, training that will absolutely address the individual's concern or needs, right? It can also boost the morale, like, for example, team building, right? Team building capacity training. And we also have variety here. Well, that means to say that it gives them variety of role to play, not only routine work that it's like a robot from day one to the present day. It's the same thing. It's a routine thing. So it could be a variety of roles that an individual can play. And then independence. This is actually where the micro thing actually goes, right? The micromanagement. So it's not being practiced in this kind of organization because you are now trying to train your people to be independent. They can even work without your supervision, or shall we say, less supervision. So, once again, these are some causes of job satisfaction. Now, let's get into job satisfaction is not just about job condition, but personality also plays a role. Yes, you've actually heard and seen it right. Positive core self evaluation versus the negative core self evaluation. Why? Because at the end of the day, still it's really up to you as to how you're going to trick your mindset and as to how you are going to push yourself, most especially if you cannot anymore look at something to motivate you. So let's dig to positive core evaluation. Person who believe in their inner worth and basic competence. So these are the people who are really passionate when it comes to their role, when it comes to their competence, and that is the number one there. Next, these people are more satisfied with their job than those with negative core evaluations. So, yeah, these are the positive people in your workplace. They see their work more fulfilling and challenging. So, these things actually occurs when we have positive core self evaluation. Now, if our personality is into or leaning to negative core self evaluation, these are the things that would happen. Less ambitious and more likely to give up when faced difficulties or challenges. So the word there, I resign or I quit, is very common. Like this person is saying it every single day. So that's a negative core evaluation. Next is they are less satisfied with their job. So less satisfaction, maybe it's because it's not really addressing their interest, or shall we say the pay is not that quite good, or any factor that would make them feel dissatisfied. And lastly is they are mostly stuck in boring repetitive jobs than those with positive core self-evaluation. This is what I'm talking about earlier, guys. So when you say repetitive job, it's like routine. So this person is not anymore feeling growth, is not anymore there, and they might feel stuck already. So again, personality will absolutely play a great role to make someone stay in your organization or company. Now, let us look closely here. These are actually what's going to happen to you if you are dissatisfied with your job. So try to look at it closely. If you're experiencing this, so that might answer my question to you. In my overview of my report, if you are satisfied with your job or not so or not at all. So stress in your body, so you might actually be feeling headache, breakouts like in your face. There's really a lot of breakouts there. Depression, blood pressure, your BP is going up always. Digestion, you cannot really go to the bathroom every morning. It's like you're having a hard time with your digestion processes, metabolism as well. That's why others will really go bigger because they are so stressed and they just keep on eating and eating and eating, and their metabolism is not really that fast. So chances are they will really get fat on that job. Fertility. So fertility, this is actually very common, especially to those newly married couple. So if they are really into, producing some walking trophies there, their babies, they should really consider if they are satisfied with their job, because fertility is one of the factor or one of the things that might actually be affected when you are dissatisfied with your job. And anxiety. Well, this is very pretty common to everyone. We are might be experiencing this sometimes, like shortness of breath and shallow breathing, muscle tension. Even if you're not really into strenuous activity, but you are feeling like your muscles are, giving you that pain, then that is caused by anxiety. Tiredness, yeah, it's like even if you have slept for almost more than 8 hours, still you're tired to go up. So that might be anxiety and so much more. So now let's proceed to this measuring job satisfaction. Yeah. Well, these are the things that we worry, and this might be the things that we just, have that reason to stay in a job. Like for example, you have debt, you have payments to pay, you have things that you are really into, and that might, cause stress, cause too much anxiety, even sickness, right? Now, these are actually it's like a Likert scale, right? It measures of job satisfaction. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your job satisfaction? So we can do this together. Me, I'm actually gonna put that strongly satisfied. So far, I'm very, very satisfied with my job because first, I am doing my passion. Second is somehow at some point I'm being appreciated by the people around me, and third is the pay is also good. So according to the exit voice loyalty neglect framework, that is according to Farrell of 1983, employees' response to dissatisfaction with the workplace can take four forms, so each of which differs from the others on two dimensions, so such as active versus passive and constructive versus destructive. So the four responses are this. So if you try to look at this figure here, there's loyalty, there's exit, neglect, and voice. So let's dive in each dimension. Loyalty is a passive but constructive. So when you say loyalty, it refers to an employee's attitude of trust towards an organization. So it can manifest itself as passive. Why is it passive? Because there are really things that we have to consider for us to be loyal. That's really a big word, right? And we cannot really stick to that loyalty forever. It would still depend as to how you are being treated by your managers or by your leaders. Now, we have this exit. Exit refers to behavior aimed at leaving the company. So, exit is destructive and it is an active response, and that is why we keep on hearing it from our coworkers. Might be that they will resign, they will exit, they will just go abroad or whatnot. And neglect, well, neglect is passive, but this is very destructive. So that is why if we will be future leaders, we have to consider rewards and recognition, and that is really gonna play a very big role of you as a leader as to how you're going to appreciate their effort. May it be big or small, it must be addressed, because if you're gonna neglect that, that might actually give you a bigger problem in the future. And then voice, yeah, voice refers to employee initiative to improve conditions at the organizations. That's why I really highly recommend, if you are now managing people under your care, there should be like voice of your people or voice of your employees by just dropping a drop box, suggestion box, or even having anonymous text messages or email. So as long as they will feel safe, right? There's safety there, that they will be assured that the confidentiality will be maintained, because their voice really matter. And at the end of the day, if they are being heard, they're being seen, they will feel loved and they will feel cared by their leaders, then it's absolutely going to give us a positive result. Okay, now let's get into how to solve job dissatisfaction. So there are actually several ways on how to address that. First is the cognitive processing decision making choice. So it's a matter of choice. There's actually action alternatives and the psychological alternatives. So basically, when you say action alternatives, this refers to job performance. It can be protest, it can also be withdrawal, right? So that those are the things that should be last in our list, right? Well, on the right side is psychological alternatives, and we can play around with this. We can take advantage of this, so such as change of perception. So how can you attain that? By doing sort of team building activities that might address these negative perceptions of an employee, right? Change of values, and the values should be coming from you as a leader, because those are actually the things that your people will be looking up to. And then change of reaction, right? So not all battles are actually worth fighting for. So we have to change how we react on things, right? So among the two action alternatives and psychological alternatives, we have consequences of their choices. So they might be satisfied with their life. They can be mental health, so it could be positive or negative depending on their choice, and their physical health as well. So again, if you're going to try to look at it closely, there's really a big chunk there that says it's all about in the mind, right? It's all about your choice. It's all about your perception as to how you are going to assess how you're going to solve your job dissatisfaction. So at the end of the day, still it's going to be your employee's decision if they will stay or not. But as a leader, as future leaders, we have to keep in mind the factors lying behind those dissatisfied um, employees. For us to proactively address it, even if it's not happening yet, at least we have programs and plans to address them, right? Okay, so let us continue. According to Law 1976, defines job dissatisfaction as pleasurable or positive emotional state resulting from the appraisal of one's job or job experiences. So, according to Bernstein and Nash of 2008, job satisfaction has emotional, cognitive, and behavioral components. So, basically, there are three things, three dimensions to consider, like evaluative. This is actually where the employee is now weighing down if he likes his job or he's not liking his job. And the next is cognitive. My work is challenging and interesting. So it is like being the mind is being challenged as to how you're going to cope up with a particular task, right? And then third is behavioral, like their feedback is I am reliable and I work hard. So that's behavior, right? So let us now proceed to another causes of satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So if you're trying to look at on the left side, employee dissatisfaction, there are factors like, for example, poor pay, poor compensation, poor work conditions, lack of promotions, poor benefits offering, lack of job security. So, just to share this, just like for example, at the call center industry, I actually didn't feel secured because even if my pay is really that high, anytime the client could pull out their account. So as a manager, I was really having that self doubt if I could still make it. And I am also having sort of nervousness in a daily basis if I am not gonna hit the metrics of the certain company. So that's why I quit. I mean, that's just me, okay? I cannot really stay longer in that company if it's not giving me that security. So, when these factors are optimal, job dissatisfaction will be eliminated. So, if this things will be addressed, then it could be eliminated. However, these factors do not increase job satisfaction. Why? Because these are actually basic. These are the things basic that's why we are looking for a job, because we need money, we need compensation, we need, to work in a good condition, we need to grow. So these are all basic, so it cannot really make it, to the highest level, for them to be satisfied. These are going to be a common things that you should address. So it's by default, as a leader, you have to really address this. Okay. And for the employee satisfaction, we have good leadership practices, good manager relationship, recognition is there, advancement is there, personal growth, feedback and support, clear direction and objectives. When these factors are optimal, job satisfaction will be increased. And that's actually through fulfillment, commitment, and engagement. So, again, bottom line here is that if you want a satisfied employees and a successful organization, then you really have to invest and bank on the factors leading to satisfaction. Okay, so why is it important for us to address satisfaction? I believe this is pretty, very practical question. A person is more likely to be actively searching for another job if they have low satisfaction, whereas a person who is satisfied with their job is less likely to be job seeking. So imagine if you're a manager and you're managing, people under your care, and they're using the printer to print the resume to be submitted in another company. So how it feels? It feels bad, right? So we don't want that to happen. So we don't want our people to use their time to search for jobs. And that will absolutely eat up your resources and all those stuff, right? So absenteeism as well is something that will be addressed if we give importance to job satisfaction. So at the end of the day, you will absolutely earn the things that needs to be earned if you address the root cause, and that is job satisfaction. Okay, so this is aside from the salary, which one of the following aspects of your job is most tied to your satisfaction? I believe for me, personally, I go with work-life balance, because this is actually something to do with, balancing your work. Always remember this. You can be replaced anytime, but you cannot be replaced. Your role cannot be replaced with your family. You're the only mom, right? You can be replaced as a wife, but as a mom, you're just the only one, right? And that's actually something to do with work-life balance. So we have to really address that. For me personally, if that's being addressed, I will be really be satisfied. And the next to me is the opportunities to learn and grow. Nobody would want to be stagnant, right? So, of course, I want to grow as a professional and as an individual, and that is really something to do with trainings and capability building, or anything that would challenge me intellectually and, physically and even emotionally, right? So there, others could be a good working relationship with the boss, yeah, camaraderie with coworkers, and ability to accomplish goals. Okay. So these are actually factors as well that is impacting job satisfaction. So there's 37% there is the workplace support. So again, this is very, very critical and very crucial, because if there's no support, most especially coming from your leaders, you would feel alone and you tend to feel lost, right? In your mission and vision as an organization. So it's really pretty important. Next is the job quality. The quality of your job. Are you being monitored? Are you being are you given feedback as to how you're doing currently with your job? and then individual variability, then earnings and benefits, then job demands. These are the things that factors affecting job satisfaction. Okay, so these are motivators and demotivators. We already have discussed this one earlier, but just to highlight, by creating an environment that promotes job satisfaction, you are developing employees who are motivated, productive, and fulfill. These are actually according to Siptak, Marsland, and Ulmer of 1999. So this is like a figure of Herzberg two-factor theory. So motivators, demotivators. So of course, we focus on the motivators. If you wish to be a great leader and if you wish your people under your care to be satisfied with their job, then you have to focus and increase your motivators. Okay? So these are what I'm actually trying to point out in my overview of my report. These are the things or tips for us to make our people be satisfied in their workplace. So first is be flexible. Yeah, when you say flexibility, that also goes to your rules and regulation as an decision maker of a company or an organization. There are actually things that you also have to consider. So you should be flexible at all times. Second is allow employees to shape their own roles. So you have to allow them to grow professionally, right? It's typo error. That's stop micromanagement. So you have to give your 101% full trust and confidence that they can work even with your less supervision, right? If you trust them, then basically they will absolutely feel that. And at the end of the day, they will work not because they're scared about you, but they will work because they have this sense of ownership. And then fourth is recognize and reward outside financial remuneration. So, apart from the financial, we also should be coming up with, things that will spice up their quarterly or might be monthly, right? To be recognized as to, for example, perfect attendance or anything that positive behavior that we have to highlight. Then drive communication and transparency. You have to be transparent. What is the current shape of the company or the organization? Are we in good shape? And then you have to drive communication. Really, you have to practice open communication with your people. Promote good health, right? You have to discourage overtime. You have to discourage your people to really work on weekends that should be for their family, right? So again, promote good health. Look after the work environment and housekeeping issues. Yeah, these might be very basic, but sometimes these are actually the things that we taken for granted. So we have to look for a good work environment where it is safe from any possible illnesses or diseases. And yeah, those are the things that we should do as a manager or as a leader. Then training and investment. Yeah, this might actually cost money coming from you as a leader or coming from your organization, but at the end of the day, you invest something that will absolutely give you an ROI or return of investment where they will feel, happy, motivated, and all those positive things that would make them feel valued and seen. And then embed a strong sociable culture where everyone is feeling welcome. No one should feel lost, and everybody are actually feeling that they can open up anytime, right? Lastly is reduce a bureaucracy, red tape, and time wasters. Yes. Uh, we are now living in the 21st century, and we should know that there are actually things that we have to upgrade. Instead of you making your people do that, we have AI. We have actually things that we can purchase in order for us to make their work easier, and they will be satisfied because they can do it as smooth as possible. This might cost money, but at the end of the day, still this will boost the job satisfaction of our people. So these are the 10 tips on how to improve job satisfaction in our workplace. And these are my references, and you can just go through with all these references if you wish to dig deeper on the details. So once again, thank you so much for listening and for watching this video. I hope you've learned something, and I hope that at the end of the day, you will not just work hard on your job, but should be working hard for yourself. Because at the end of the day, once we work hard and once we invest so much in ourselves, it would just go with the domino effect to our job satisfaction. Once again, this is your co-doctorate, Ms. Mary Jane Flores Pernites, and I would like to grab this opportunity to thank Dr. Matiliano. Sir, thank you so much, Doc, for this opportunity given for our individual report and for challenging us to be more than what we are capable of. So, once again, thank you so much and have a beautiful weekend ahead of you. Take care. Bye.